Welcome everybody. This is Becky here, Aunt Beck's Creations. Surprise! We're doing an impromptu live. And the reason I'm doing this is I came up with two projects I wanted to do, both for tomorrow night. And I figured what I would do is I would go ahead and we'd do this idea today, and then I can do the canvases tomorrow. So I'm sorry this is an impromptu. I spoke about doing this last Wednesday in my live, and then I came up with another idea thanks to Pinterest. So I want to do the canvas project tomorrow night. So for tomorrow night, you would need a canvas the size of your choice, or you can use recycled cardboard. Let me show you the weight I'm talking about. Hang on. I'm thinking this could be something you could use to hang on your wall. So this is the back of one of those big art pads. See how thick it is? And it's nice and sturdy. And then I'll show you what I'm going to work with tomorrow night real quick. I'm just going to work with one of these canvases. And these were the ones that you get a 10-pack at Michael's. I might have to close these curtains instead of having them open. Hang on. I'm trying to get the lighting so I'm not shading myself out too badly. Tippy, don't start a cat fight right now, okay? I'll put you behind the curtain so Cole can't see you. Is that better? That is much better. Let me tell you how. I think this is an 8x10. But my idea is in my new bathroom. Yeah, 8x10. I want to do 3 canvases, all in kind of the same color family, so I can put them on the wall side by side above the commode. So that's the reason I want to do these canvases. So I posted the idea about this on my community tab, and more information about it. But we're just going to use painty paper. So bring out your gel prints for tomorrow night. The inspiration photo is actually a blanket, and you could do this with fabric on here, but I'm going to use the painty paper. So that's tomorrow's plan. Today, we're going to do the prompt game on this piece of denim. And that is a piece of denim that I got at Joann's. In the remnant bin. And I've pre-washed this. And when you pre-wash your fabric, whether you're sewing or you're doing an art project or stuff, it's always good to pre-wash your fabric, but do not use fabric softener. Fabric softener will create a barrier, whether it's for your interfacing sticking to the back side of the fabric or the paint sticking to this. You want to use just your detergent alone. You do not want to put anything else in with your fabric when you're doing a pre-wash. And if you're making clothes, you should always pre-wash and dry your fabric so that all of the shrinking will occur before you make your garment, because there's nothing more heartbreaking than to make something, wash it, and have it shrink a size down and not fit you after you've put all that work in. And I wanted to pre-shrink this as well, because after I do the prompt game on here, my idea is to turn this into some type of bag, whether a zippered bag, a small tote. It would be a very small tote. My piece of denim, I actually got a bigger piece, but I figured I'd try to work with a piece that you could see the whole thing on the screen. So this is about 23 inches by about 16 and a half if you take away the salvaged edge. Of course, you can use the salvaged edge on your bag. You know what I'm saying? You could use this for your top edge of your bag and just have this as interest. So that's an idea, and it kind of got frayed on the edges, so I pinked all the jaggedy bits off the sides. So let me welcome you guys. Welcome everybody. This is kind of just a surprise. Let me scroll back up. I'm missing all you guys coming in. Welcome. Hi, Pam. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Kathy C. Hi, Patricia. Patricia, I love that bee journal you shared. That is gorgeous. I know. And I'm so glad she picked out a hat for herself, because my intention was to wrap one for her, but then I didn't because I wanted her to be able to choose one herself. So that was fabulous. Pam is a sewist, y'all. I know, Pam, you do other things, but I know you mainly for Friday sews and that kind of thing. I need to get busy on the t-shirt challenge that Sew Joey's doing. Sharon's here. Hi, Sharon. And let's see, anybody else? Did I miss anybody? There's Carol. Hi, Carol. And Carol did an awesome postcard with a mandala, and it made me want to do a mandala. We could almost do a mandala on this, but that would take a lot of time. Yeah, almost a fat quarter of denim. I don't know why it held that. All you were just saying is good to meet you, Pam. That was weird, Janet. All right. Yeah, I want to do some mandalas again. Barb's been on holiday, so I hadn't seen them. Yeah, I want to do that one too. The He Made June. My son's been wanting a bowling shirt, and I bought some patterns, and I got some Hawaiian fabric. So that's on my list of things to do. My list of things that I want to do and participate in is a mile long, and then I add things where I want to donate things, and I want to gift people, and I want to, that list just gets longer and longer and longer because I don't know when to quit thinking, I guess. I bought this pretty box at Joann's to hold my prompt cards. Janet's got that beautiful basket, so I put my prompt cards in here. And I'm going to use the prompt cards that you all helped me. And I'll use the ones that are laminated only for today. These I have not laminated yet. I got all kinds of sets of cards, and now I need to make more cards because I got to do my Janet prompts on some. But these were cards that were made for a challenge. Y'all sent me a bunch of people sent me 2 prompt cards, and what I did is I went ahead and made a deck. So I would keep one that was made by somebody else, and then I would make their second prompt up again, so that both myself and the person that won the giveaway, which they won the cards like this in a handcrafted box like I made, and they've got a whole deck of cards just like this. And I don't know if that girl's still coming to my channel or not. I hadn't seen her in a while. And Nola Harris, I hadn't seen her in a while. I see where she says, uh-oh, she went shopping again. So what we're going to have to do, because we're not working on paper, we're working on fabric. Your mediums, you want to go, if it says something with paint, please note you don't want to put a ton of paint on here. You want just a light coating. And because if you put too much paint on, it's hard to sew through. And part of what I want to do is add like little squares of fabric here and there. Y'all have seen the little bag I've made. Let me show you that. And so you get an idea of what we're aiming for. This was made from a prompt game. Okay. You see how I've got the stitches on there? And then what I did is I went ahead and I drew this pattern up for this little standy makeup bag. And I'll show you on another day how to draw your own pattern up for something like this. Once you get your pattern, you go ahead and you cut your pieces out. Then you stay away from where you'll have seam lines. And then you can do all this hand beading before you sew the bag together. I even sewed some bits of lace on here. There's some more hand beading flowers. So the beading is something you add after, and you can choose, like on this one, I did all my little pieces. I just pinned them in place. And then I came in while I was watching a movie or whatever and did all this hand stitching. So all we're going to work on is basically the background for today, okay? And then I'll get you to the point where we're pinning the fabric on, and that's where we'll end it for today. And then you guys will have to take it from there, whether you want to machine sew your fabric in place, or if you want to take the time to hand stitch it in place. Don't do any beading work though until you know exactly where your seam lines are going to be. So next week we'll draw up a pattern, and that way you'll know how to draw your own patterns up for a small zipper bag. And we'll do a different shape than this one, okay? So let's get started. What does Nola say here? Oh, Doodle. So you'll need something that can write on your denim. And I have some markers that will write on fabric. I got these. Let me grab my fabric paint. If you do not have fabric paint, you can use regular acrylic paint, but it's really best if you're using regular acrylic paint, you really want to add the fabric medium. But I do know that regular acrylic, once it's dry, it'll stay too. It might not stay permanently, but it'll stay long enough to enjoy. Now, these pens I got from Scrapbook Pal a long time ago, and they write on fabric. This is another reason I want to do this, is I have all of these supplies that I need to do. So what color should we doodle with on this? I guess it'll depend on what'll show up. I'm just going to doodle some flowers in different colors. I'll just grab different ones. Now, these markers actually have a tip on both ends. This one's kind of a small tip. And that one's a small tip too. Well, I'll just draw some flowers. And remember, this is only one layer. I'm creating my own shadow. I'm sorry. So we'll doodle. I don't know how many prompts you guys want to do. Janet does 6 on Monday. Lisa had been doing 10 prompts. I usually do 12 prompts, but I don't know how long y'all want to hang with me today. Basically, we're creating our own design on our denim. Now, we're doodling these flowers. If you wanted to, you could come in and stitch over these flowers too, if you wanted to do all of this embroidery. Maybe one more over here. I'm not real concerned that they're not coming out really dark, because like I said, I've had these for years. I'm going to move that one over there because I've already used it. And you can doodle as much or as little as you want, because this is just prompt 1. Cole's playing in the cat toys. If you guys hear something blanging, that's him playing. I wonder if this blue-green will show up at all. Who else has come in? Sherry. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Ruth. Yeah, I think Janet Nash is kind of putting everything together for the Friendship Star block. If you guys missed that, go back and watch Janet Nash's Monday stream. If you're a quilter, you might want to double check onto that. And if you wanted to, you could come back with just regular fabric paints and fill these in too. It's entirely up to you. You are creating your own fabric. That one's pretty dry. Use it or lose it, people. Maybe put some spirals on it here and there. All right, let's see. I just want to put enough on here that there's a representation that might peek up on, different sections of our little bag. And everybody can make their own one-of-a-kind little bag. If you aren't comfortable doing zippers, just let me know. Because we could do maybe just one with a flap instead. But zippers are nothing to be afraid of once you learn how to do them. My greatest and most best results have always been to hand base the zipper in place. That way it can't shift when I'm sewing it on the sewing machine. And I'll have to set us up a little differently. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Just enough to get a representation. That's all you need. Hi, Gail. Let me see. Did I miss anybody else? Hi, Kendra. So wonderful to see you. And Journey. I think I'm back up where everybody came in. All right. Thank you so much, Janet, for putting in the link to Janet Nash's live stream, the Friendship block. Those are the ones that ended up with the scalloped edges were just at the very last row. What you do is you do a single crochet in your very first stitch, then skip one and do a 5 double crochet shell, skip one, do a single crochet, skip one, do a 5 double crochet shell. And that's how you get that pretty scallop around the bottom of the hat. All right, ready? Here we go. Ooh, Weenie Lang had sent add a feather. Now that's going to be pretty hard on here, but I think, do I have a stencil with a feather? Let me look real quick. I think I have a stencil with a feather on it. Or if you're really good at hand painting, feel free to hand paint a feather. If I don't have a stencil, I may pick another one. So hold that thought. Let me just look and see if I've got a feather in here. Well, I've got birds. I could put some birds on it. They have feathers, right? We can get very we can go off the chart, off the chain, off the leash. I'm just looking. Ooh, I do have a wing. It's a small one. Let me see. could have swore maybe I just thought about it. I think I need more stencil. Not. And I hope you guys don't mind me coming on. I'm trying to get more videos up on my channel. Oh. I'm looking. These are the great big ones. Okay. I'm going to just add birds because they have feathers. So if you don't have a feather stencil, use birds. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure the birds are this way up because I'm thinking about utilizing this in some way. So I need something to put paint on. And I'll have to go to the kitchen. Hang on. Sorry, I'm out of wax paper in here. Let me move my box. Cole, honey, do you need to go back out in the bonus room? Are you freaking out because I'm moving around? All right, and I'm going to use, see, this is what I mean by fabric painting medium. You just mix this with regular acrylic paint. Oh, this is a fabric spray paint. I wonder if we could get it to dry. How long does it need to dry? Let dry for 4 hours. Let's not do that. Let's just use, let's see here. What color? Here we go. Here's some white. And I'm just going to use a sponge. I'm using Tulip soft paint. And the key is use a small amount of paint because you don't want to have to sew through something too thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my plastic smaller so it's not like obnoxious. And I'll just put some out here. Now I'm not going to do this whole block of birds. I'll just do a few with birds. Like do the ones that are flying maybe. You just want a little bit of paint, not a lot. So it's on the surface of the fabric, not soaking it. See how it's light? That's what you want. And if you get onto a part where you really didn't want part of that bird, you just cover that with a little square fabric later and it'll be fine. And I guess I need to get a feather stencil. I need room. Move this paint off to the side. Looks funny to have that one just standing there when I've got birds flying around him. See how it just picks up a little bit? It's kind of like they're just flitting in the sunlight. And you can always save anything that you cut free when we cut our little bag pattern out. Save it and use it on your scrolls or any other fabric project you have. I'd like to combine my sewing with the art a lot more. So you might see these combination projects. I hope that's okay with you guys. Yep, doodle and then feathers. And I'm having to cheat and just add birds because I apparently don't have a wing stencil. I thought I did, but I don't. All right. So that's all I'm going to add of the birds. Just a few here and there. And I will get a wet one and clean this off and drop this in water. I just bought some new wipes. I think I had one or two left in here. Last one. That's the bad part about the fabric paint. It really dries quick onto your stencil. I might have to soak that. I'll just lay this wipe on it and we'll pick the next prompt. That'll work. Okay, let's see. Next prompt. Oh, Janet Nash is leaving. Good night. Oh, have fun with you, Katie. And see. Facing time with the youngsters. Yep. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Mary. Okay. And then, we're not going to do this one because I don't want to put texture paste on here. All right, so we're going to skip that one. If a prompt comes up that I feel like it won't work on fabric, this was from Janie, J Peppy 01, which I haven't seen her in years either. It says add some textile. So we can do that, but what we'll do is we will just pin the textile on. So get your scrappy bits. So prompt, what is that? 3 is going to be add textile. Oh gosh, somebody's at the door. Hang on. Oh, it's your mother. I wish Publishers Clearinghouse would blow up or something. Go on. Sorry, guys. Scott's mom brought the Publishers Clearinghouse because she's convinced she's going to win. Okay, this could be a fun bag to use right here. And I like to use cotton, like just pieces left over from quilting. Whatever you have that's textile oriented. Okay, and I'm going to get a pair of scissors and some pins. And you can pink your edges or don't worry about it. They don't have to be straight or anything. So like I'll stick a piece down like that and I'll put a pin in it. You can even leave the rough edges like that. And I will probably hand stitch mine on in front of the TV later. This looks like part of a belt. Let's see here. Oh, geez, now the phone. Not my phone. I'm not going to answer it. And you can overlap some of them like this. And yay, Scott's taking a week off next week. Woohoo! Okay. So whatever you have. Here's another piece of that red. I'm just going to move that. This is too big of a piece here. There's that. There's that. Let's see what else we got in here. Textiles can also mean lace. And since I got it out, go ahead and put a piece of lace overlapping that one a little bit. Maybe put a piece just on its own over here. I think it's upside down, but I need to pin these or I'm not going to be able to do it. Let me get my pins. You can use safety pins if you want to. That might actually be good because then you won't stab yourself a half dozen times like I usually do. Let me get my safety pin out. Kind of getting my exercise today doing this. And see, I have some quilting safety pins that are really good for this kind of thing because they have a little curve in them. Let's see here. See how it's got a curve in it? And I can just I'm hoping I'm not pinning it to the paper, but never can tell. Quit digging on my chair. Not listening very well. These pins put a really big hole in here. I don't know if I like them or not. I have some smaller ones. This is better. I don't have the little doohickey. There's a little thing that you can put underneath the pin so you don't have to bend the fabric too, but I don't have that doohickey. I have a lot of doohickeys, but not that one. That one's stuck together. I'm not doing very good at just quickly grabbing pins. Mainly we're just kind of putting these on here. And you want some color variation. So I think we need to find some blues or something in here. Or maybe I need to get in the other bag. Let me just get some more fabric. I think I've got enough. I want to hold on the lace just in case we get a prompt that says add lace. I'm digging in my bin. Here we go. Here's some from my boho quilt. Whoops. This is me spinning things. I'm going to put that maybe underneath this one. Or maybe on top of it so it shows up. And you can move these again. I mean, if you don't like the layout you come up with, you know, while we're doing this quickly, you can change it when you go to hand sew it down. You can flip your fabric and use the opposite side of it. I like this idea of using the safety pins so that I don't stab myself. You can add more textiles if you want to. Oh, there's a pretty little purple piece with the letter D on it. That might go good with here. Maybe put this off to this way. Is Shannon here? Hi, Shannon. I know Shannon from a long time ago. She got one of my wind chimes made from a tart pan. We learned our lesson there. You can't send checks across the border. But that's okay. We worked it out. I will say that it is easier to use regular pins than these safety pins. But when it comes time to stitch, you'll appreciate the safety pins. I can tell you that from experience. Now, when I have them layered like this, this is just for me to see. When I'm going to do the hand sewing, I will remove the ones that are on top. I'll go ahead and stitch this one, and then I'll set this one back on top of it and stitch it down. And sometimes I'll stitch past the edge off onto this fabric too. This one hasn't been pinned. So, I don't know when my class is planning to do our 40th reunion, but now they've decided that they probably won't do a big organization and that one of my classmates will just do a big bonfire at the edge of his pond on his property. And so I don't know. I'm toying with the idea of going to New York in September, but I don't know. It's an awful long way to go to stand around drinking around a bonfire, but all right. I think we need one more grouping up here, and then we'll go to the next prompt, okay? And I did that drive by myself for my last reunion, and I can tell you, I was so sore from being the only driver. You don't think about it until you've done it one time. Then you know a 10 to 12 hour drive up and a 10 to 12 hour drive back on your own is a little on the exhausting side. If you don't want to hand sew, you don't have to. You could sew these on with your sewing machine, you know, and just do all your stitching with your sewing machine. That is entirely up to you. And when we cut these out, we're going to cut right over our textiles we've pinned on and then stitched on. And it won't matter if you cut through your threads, because as soon as we do the stitching on the seam, all of that gets locked into place again. So don't worry if you think you're going to go over it. Though the only thing you have to really be concerned about is whether you're going over the beads, because you don't want to tear your sewing machine up. And then this one over here is only a single. I like to put two pieces of fabric together. You can do individual ones. I just like the way it looks to overlap the fabric a little bit. And I will try to have all the stitching done on this before next week. And I don't know if I'll do another Tuesday. It depends. It depends. Scott's going to be home. We might take next week off. Yes, I'm planning to, and we're going to do the canvas project that I thought up. The only reason I'm coming on today is because I dreamed up too many projects for one live. So I said, I'll just go live today. And if people are there, that's awesome. If they're not, they can watch the replay. All right. So we've pinned our textiles on. So that's our 1, 2, 3. We need number 4. And these are ones we rejected because they won't work very well. All right. Nope, we're not going to do that one. All right, this one we can do. This was from Lily Martin. There's a lot of names in these cards that I remember from back then, but I haven't seen them in ages. Add numbers. Now you can stamp your numbers. You can stencil your numbers. Any way you want to get them on here. I actually have a pretty nice size stencil, so I'm going to grab the stencil. I also have stamps. But the stencil will be easier. Somewhere here, there's numbers. Alphabet. Ooh, don't get caught in here. Of course, I'm running around. I know I saw numbers. I have numbers on these cloth ones. So there's some numbers. Aha. These will work. Ouch. Got it. All right. I'm only going to do the ones that you can actually see what the numbers are. Like the 1, 2, 5, 3, not the 6 or the 4, because they're missing the inside of them. So we'll just put this down here. We'll put some numbers on here. I think I'll do red for the numbers. Is Dee Dee here? Hi, Dee Dee. Oh, okay. Dee Dee is not streaming tomorrow. My problem is at that hour is when Scott needs to sleep. So I can't take that hour. One more week on 3rd, and then he's taking a week off, and then he'll be on 2nd, we think. I'm not going to overlap on my bird. I'm going to come down a little bit here. And we'll do this number 2. And remember, it doesn't have to be solid. In fact, it's better if it's not, because then you don't have all that paint to try to sew or whatever through. See, there's a 2. We'll put a number 1 up here. Maybe I'll just do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll probably take next week off because Scott and I will be resting and working on the bathroom and that kind of thing. So next week I probably won't be on at all. Let's do this 3. I'm trying to figure out where to put the stencil while I'm moving things around like a mad woman here. But I appreciate you letting us know that, Dee Dee. I'm kind of hoping we can get the bathroom finished. I am so looking forward to a good soak in a bathtub. Y'all just don't know. And when you put this on light enough, it dries real quick too, especially in this warm room we're in here right now. I think I'm going to do 10 prompts, and the additional ones would be to do your stitching. How does that sound? The people behind us, their pool is in such disrepair, and it's so bad. The mosquitoes are huge. It just drives me crazy. We can't even enjoy our own porch for the mosquitoes eating us alive. The liner's all falling in on it. It's full of frogs, which is probably means there's big old black water snakes coming to eat frogs. I think one time a crane flew up out of their yard from where they were in there dining on frog. All right, we got 1, 2. All right. Put a 2 up here. And I think this will be my last one I put a number on. So I got numbers on my fabric. And you can overlap onto your little fabric bits if you want to. I just didn't want to. All right. Just going to set this aside. I'm going to have a pile of stuff to soak because it's all going to dry. It's so hot in here. We had the most amazing rain shower earlier, and it took it from like 103 degrees down to 77 degrees within an hour. It was awesome. I don't think I'm going to need the safety pins. I'm just going to get them out of the way before I dump them on the floor. All right, so we'll do 10 prompts total. I'm losing track. 1, 2, 3. We've only done 4, so we need to do 6 more on here. All right, here we go. 7:30, Mary, my normal evening time. Okay. Samara gave us this one. It says, use gesso in the middle of your project. All right, we can do this if we go light. We definitely don't want a thick coating. So you pick a couple spaces. It says in the middle of your project, but because we're on this fabric, I'm going to pick like an area here and up here. And I'm going to use a stencil with some gesso and just white out an area. It'll be fine. Gesso is, where is it? It's somewhere safe. Gesso is on which card? That's gel medium. I had all the gessos together. Here they are. And then I want a stencil that's going to give me a nice big shape. So you want a stencil or something that's open. Ooh. Let's see. All right. So let's just do a gesso heart. You can gesso out without a stencil. I just like putting it on there. We're going to do another little bag, like something like this, but a different size. This is a little zippered bag that we did a prompt game together, and I did stitches. You just don't want to add the beads until you've cut your components out, so you know where your seam lines are, because you don't want to cut through the bead string. So that's we're going to do some kind of little project with it. I need another sponge for this gesso. And I'm just going to scoop some out onto my wax paper. If you don't have gesso, use white paint. We're probably not going to need a lot, so I'm just going to put that in there. Hope that's enough. I'm only going to do a couple hearts in each kind of section here. You can do as many as you want. I'm going to tamp this off. I think this is the biggest heart I have, is why I'm you don't want a thick layer because you are going to have to sew through this. And we know gesso is permanent. One of my coworkers at Michael's, she said one time she had just started working there and somebody dropped a big bottle of gesso and it exploded all over her brand new sneakers, and it completely ruined them because once it dried, it was on there. I might put one here. So you can just gesso out some areas. When you do it on your page and you gesso out like the whole middle, then you can put your focal point in the area that you gessoed. I really like that prompt. It gives you a space on your page that turns around and it's a blank space where you can add more. Got a little thick there. I'm going to try to spread it out some. Kathy knows me. She says, now what are you going to do with that fabric after you make it all pretty? We're going to chop it up and turn it into something. All right, I don't really want to cover my birds. Maybe over here. We'll put one. Covering up a little bit of the birds, but it'll be all right. And because if you're putting this on light enough, you'll still be able to see the flowers underneath. If you wanted to do embroidery into your flowers that you doodled on earlier and stitch through your gesso, that would give you an interesting look too. All right, so there's my 3 gessoed out areas. Oh, Dee Dee's got to go. Bye, Dee Dee. Thank you for letting us know. I'm going to throw this in my water. I need my new wet ones, and I don't know. I'll just have to soak everything and hope it all comes off. All right, so there's that. We did the gesso. We're ready for the next one. All right. Well, this was from Dawn Andres. Y'all remember Dawn? I hadn't seen her in a long time. I think her Facebook got hacked, and I know she left YouTube when the whole child type thing came out. So Dawn, if you're listening, this is your prompt card. All right. She says, incorporate dendritic painting or add black dots. I'm going to do the add black dots. I'm going to skip the dendritic painting. But if you wanted to do dendritic painting, you just need you a piece of glass, spread some paint out on it, and then just lay it on your fabric and lift it up, and it'll make this kind of pattern. That's entirely up to you. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to do the add black dots with a Posca pen would work on here, wouldn't it? Or maybe, do I have black fabric paint? Oh, I have this 3D tulip. But if I squeeze some out, I've got way too much gesso out there. Let me see if I can get this open. I would put, you know, just little black dots on like this. Maybe I will, and hope I don't smear it. Something fell. Oh, it was the bobby pin. You don't think that something small like this would really show up, but in the end it does. And I like to do the groups of 3. I got to the door just as my mother-in-law was turning to walk away. I guess she felt like we must have been sleeping. She won't come in because she can't do our bonus room has a set of 2 steps, and there's no rail, so she feels unsteady, so she won't come in. Told Scott, I guess we're going to end up needing to put a rail, or maybe build some wooden steps with a rail, or put a ramp in or something. I have visions that she might end up having to come stay with us. But we'll see. Gonna cross that bridge when we get to it. She is in her 90s. I'm trying not to put a big blob of paint, just little dots, because I want it to dry. I will have to set this somewhere to dry before I start trying to stitch on it, because everything will need to be good and dry. All right, I did some little black dots. I think that's good enough. All right. But if you want to do the dendritic printing and you have like a glass coaster or something, you can do it with that. All right. Okay, this one's going to be hard to do. And it says, Lily. Lily, you sent this to me. It's like the, look, it's coming off the lamination. I wonder if I can stick it back through the laminator. But Lily, and we did this in 2017. It says, add a border. Now, you can add border sections, like maybe create a corner, just random corners, random borders. That's entirely up to you, but I'm going to skip it. Draw another one. Pick up a paintbrush from Lori Seabrook. Lori Seabrook. Some of these folks, I'm going to have to look them up and see if they're still on YouTube. Pick up a paintbrush and do whatever you want. All right. This is a fabric paintbrush. The bristles are different than a regular paintbrush. They're stiffer. And you can do whatever you want with whatever color you want. I think I'm going to pull some purple in because I've got some purple fabric and I've got some purple fabric paint. So I'm going to use purple with my paintbrush. I'm just got it setting over here. And I'm just going to do some little brush strokes. If I can get some purple out of here. This one doesn't look like it's open. Somehow I ended up with 3 bottles of the same purple. This one. Is this the one that's open? This one is. Oh, use it or lose it, folks. I think that's what I'm running into. There we go. Finally got some purple to come out of the bottle. And I'm just going to brush some little spots of purple here and there. Remember, go lightly because you don't want to have to sew through this stuff if you're going by doing anything by hand. maybe do some this other way. I'll look at chat here in just a second. Oops. I might go in different directions on each one so that it almost looks like I have added a border here and there. Oh, he got the ball out of the thing. Let's see here. Just add a little bit here and there. Trying to use everything I squeezed out because it took me so much effort to get that little bit out. Yes, tomorrow I will be at my regular time of 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I don't know how late we'll go, but we're going to be doing some canvases because I want to do 3 little canvases to hang in a row in my new bathroom. And I got an idea off Pinterest from a blanket I saw on there. But we're going to do it with gel printed paper. So pick a couple colors of your favorite. Go through your gel printed papers and find 2 different color families. I'm going to do teal and purple. Teals and purples for mine because the tile has a teal square in it. And I think we're going to paint it the vigorous violet. All right, we'll stick that in my water. All right, so we did that one. That was pick up a paintbrush. And we did purple. This, what did I say this was when I can't remember. But Pam, made by Pam, said it sounded like almost a fat quarter. I'll measure it again for you, Mary. This was 23 by about 16 and a half. But I mean, you can draw your pattern any size. So if you have just a random piece of denim, and just let me know what size it is, I can kind of work out a pattern and tell you how to do the measurements or draw up the pattern. We can draw patterns one day for just small bags together. All right, I'm going to pull the next one. So what are we on, Janet? This was 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right, 7. All right. And I said we're going to do 10. So 8, 9. We got 3 left. All right, you may not use denim. That's fine. You could do canvas or a piece of muslin. I've done that too. All right, this says, from Irene Payton, use a stencil with ink and have fun. So, use a stencil with ink. I've got these hearts here that I gessoed, and I don't know if these are really ink or not, but I'm thinking, what if I bring my stencil back and go around with these inside here and maybe put the smaller hearts inside it with this ink. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me grab that back. We'll just start here. But if you want to stamp something, stays on ink will stamp on here. In fact, if you wanted to just stamp on the areas that where you gessoed, it would stick in there real good. So let's see. Do I have an orange that'll work good? Let's see. I'm getting gesso on my tip. I'll probably end up ruining this pen, but you know what? It's just sitting in this carton, not getting used. Hardly at all. I'll get this on here straight eventually. And what happens when I'm doing these is I start looking at the colors that are already on the page, and I try to tie them all together so all of the components on this page will go together because I've paid attention to the colors I've previously put on here. And I thought my sister was in Arizona. She's not. She's in Kansas City. Kansas City. All right, see if I can wipe that off from there a little bit. Now, let's go to the little bit smaller heart and see if I can center it in here. And maybe, let's see if this one will show up on here. I bet this will show up good. And that's what's good about gessoing out a section of your page or your project, because then you can come in different elements and do that. Oh, I went a little wonky because there's something underneath my fabric. I think it's part of my cutting board is messing me up. But see that? And you could color the smallest heart totally in with some paint if you wanted to. Which we could get our paintbrush out and do just that. We could just paint it in. Again, trying not to go too heavy. Of course, I could use another sponge because there's nothing wrong with dirtying up every sponge you own, right? All right. All right, so I've got one more size to this heart that we could center in here. And I'm going to switch from the markers to, do I have some pink paint? I think I do. Pink. That won't work. That's airbrush paint. I have peach or orange. Maybe the orange. It's a neon orange, though. I don't know if I want neon. Oh, I have the red. I can do red in the middle. And that'll bring me full circle back around. Well, I'll have to do a video because when I step outside trying to go live is hard to do. That's fine. That's fine, Mary. I'm going to put the prompts in my description box when I sign off too. I'll keep them in the pile and I'll put them in. But anytime you're going to do these later, if you want to, you can change the order, because I do that on Janet Nash all the time. I change the order just a little bit, and that's how I end up making artist trading coins from her prompts from 2 weeks ago, or last week. And I still haven't gotten those in the mail. I need to get that in the mail to you, Janet. So again, if you wanted to, you could bead around your hearts, but don't do it until we've developed our pattern and you've cut the pieces out, because you don't want to put beads where you're going to be stitching on your sewing machine. It won't work out. That one I didn't I didn't do too good on getting it straight, but I'm not going to move it or anything. Meow. Meow. What's the matter? You were playing fine. Why are you fussing now? Oh dear, I don't have quite enough paint. I will have to squeeze more out, and I'm notorious for squeezing too much out. Come on. Let me have enough to cover this. Uh-oh. I pulled on the fabric a little bit and shifted it. I think that's going to be good enough. Yeah, that's good enough. How about that? How about them apples? Hi, Cole. What's the matter? You're not the center of attention at this moment in time? All right, that was prompt 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 2 more. All right. Oh, Mary's going to love this one. Use gold paint or pen. That was from Betsy Doodle. If you don't watch Betsy Doodle, she's a hoot. But what I'm going to do, if I can remember where it is, I have gold, if it's still good. I have gold, like glitter glue, and it does a beautiful thing on here. Let's see, I think maybe my gold dried up though, and I threw it out, if I remember right. What is this? Let me think. How can I get gold on here? Gold regular paint, I guess, would work. What is this? All my distressed stickle stuff is getting dried out. It's a bummer. I'll mix some gold metallic paint with some of this is the 24 karat gold. I'll mix some of this with the fabric medium. Oh, UPS truck. I hate to waste that gesso, but I'm just going to fold that over. I still haven't found my little book. You're going to try the gold stickles. I need to go through my stickles and just throw out everything that's dried up in the box. It's like I need to do a seasonal product purge, and things that I haven't used, I will not buy again. All right. Thank you, Mary. It doesn't hurt to have more than, multiple people's putting the prompts in either. It really doesn't. It doesn't bother me to have multiple people. I'm going to take a card. First, I got to mix some fabric medium in with this. And I never know how much you're supposed to add. So I just kind of do half and half. I don't know. It's a 2-to-1 with medium. So I think you only have to put half the amount of this medium in there. And of course, this is sticking down here. And when I sign off, I'll quickly put the prompts into the description box for the replayers. So I've got, I'm going to set this over here. I got this much gold paint. I'm going to shake this stuff up. This is fabric medium, and it's supposed to be 2 to 1. It says heat set for 30 seconds with an iron. But you know what? I'm just going to leave it to dry, and then maybe I might hit it with my heat gun instead of an iron, because this is gold. And I'm going to put about half the amount of this down and then just stir it together. Oh, there was some purple paint still on here. Oh, you know what? I don't even have to get a card. I can just take this and do some lines like that. Oh, that got blobby. Let's pull some this way. Probably getting some on my phone too. Oh, I didn't wipe it off. That's okay. We'll just make it work. Spread it out so it'll dry. I'll look at chat here in just a second. Kind of trying to spread this around, because anywhere that doesn't get cut out and used on the bag, you can use in something else. All right. Got a lot of paint left over. Oh, I would scrape it in that little book if I could find that little book that I've been working on for the little bits. All right. So that was 9. And I'll leave it to dry real good before I stitch it. We've got 1 prompt left. I think this has some elastane in it because it looks stretchy. See, stretchy. Last prompt. Let's see what it says. Oh, we're not going to do that one. Betsy Doodle says, use your bubble wrap with 3 different colors. Well, I might use some bubble wrap with this gold so that I'm not wasting it, and maybe mix a little some other color in with it. Well, I'm going to put 3 different colors. Like I've got the gold here, and then this is fabric paint already. I'm just going to put a little bit of the green. And I'll go ahead and use some of this yellow. And that'll be our last prompt. And I'll get a sponge and kind of just pick stuff up and put it on my bubble wrap. All right. Clean as you go. Then you don't have to worry about it later. All right. Since this is the last prompt. All right. Bubble wrap and a sponge. And then we will call this part of this project complete. And I learned this trick from Cindy Utter on putting the paint on your bubble wrap with a sponge. And that way you don't get those big blobs. Oh, Joyce is here. Hi, Joyce. Joyce, have you heard from Vicky? I know her and hubby are in a camper, and that's the last I saw, but have you heard from her at all? You have not. Okay. Well, I hope they're having fun. It's okay. I think the last video that she put up, she said something about because she wasn't putting contact in, that they were going to like do away with her channel on her or something. So I've been trying to go back and watch some of her older videos and just put her on to play when I'm working on something, you know, here at the house. Like cleaning. All right, now third color is going to be the yellow. And by the time you add stitching and stuff, I might actually go back and embroider on the flower doodles that are visible and see if I can't bring the flowers back to the surface. You know, because like when you're doing a page, you can always like go around something and bring it back to the top. All right, that's all I'm going to do as she lays it down again. All right, so there's our fabric. Do you guys want me to read over the prompts one more time before I sign off? I'm going to put them in the description box, but we can read off from them too. All right, prompt 1 was doodle. Prompt 2, add a, and what I did is I stenciled birds because I thought I had a Vicki Ross. She's having trouble because she's not able to get internet right now. So yeah. All right. So that was prompt 2 is add a feather, but I did birds. Prompt 3 is add some textiles. That's when we pinned all the fabric bits on. You can add more fabric if you want to. If you want more fabric on yours, pin more. This one says add numbers. Use gesso in the middle of your project. That's where we put these hearts in. I just put yellow on that card. This one was incorporate dendritic painting, add black dots. Pick up a paintbrush. That's where we put the purple on. Use a stencil with ink and have fun. Use gold paint or pen. And then use bubble wrap with 3 different colors. And I'm going to leave them just like that, so I know that's how I have to type them in. Actually, I will... There we go. Okay. So I'd love, if you've played along, I would love to see your fabric, either in my group or on the Artist Streams or Fibsville, any group that we're both in, which I think I'm in most everybody's group these days. I just can't keep up with everybody. But I would love to see the fabric you've created. And then next week, we'll work on drawing up patterns, or I might just do a video on it. I don't know which way would be better for you guys. And we'll go from there. But the homework is stitch your fabrics down, whether you do it with machine or by hand. And like I said, what I do is I remove the safety pin and I'll stitch this piece down. Then I'll put this one back down and stitch it on this way. So the stitches on this one will go either this up and down this way, or I sometimes start in the middle and just go around and around and around. And you can do that if you want to do circles around some of them. Any way you want to stitch them is fine. All right, guys. Yep, you have homework. You got to stitch your fabric down. I'll probably stitch mine by hand because I just like the way it looks. I've done it both ways. And this is going to be our goal, is a little bag like this. Something like this. It won't be this deep or this tall. I'm going to come up with a different shape. I was kind of hoping we would have gotten more circles. So I might incorporate embroidered circles on my fabric pieces. I might do that just to get me some circles on here. All right, guys, thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow night. Bring a canvas or a small, I'm doing 8 by 10 canvases. If you want to do something smaller, you can. And we're going to utilize painty papers. Or if you want to use fabric, you can. So bring a canvas tomorrow night and I'll show you what we're going to do. I hope you all have had fun and I will see you later. Bye, guys.